This is a continuation of my earlier comments regarding today's bum can be tomorrow's hero. As I said earlier, um, you have to read the rest of the points I make to get a definition of the word hero. Um, the next situation I ran into, which was quite interesting, was trying to get into a New York college. Except for one college, St. John's University, the other colleges turned me down because my high school grades were too poor. They wouldn't take me. So I wouldn't give up. My last chance was St. John's University. And I went to see the dean, and I explained to him that while in high school, the reason my grades were so bad, my mind was on sports. In fact, I had a scholarship for baseball and basketball. I just had no time to study. And he said to me, "Well, you're also a veteran, aren't you?" I said, "Yes." He said, "As a disabled veteran, that means the government's going to pay your tuition and books, correct?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to admit you to the college, but you have to maintain a B average or a B plus average. And if you don't, you're out. No second chances." He said, "What I'm doing here is only because the government's going to pay you away. And if we ask you to leave, you still will get some reimbursement from the government." So anyway, I left him. I went and bought the appropriate books, which is called for reimbursement of the government. And the government paid the tuition, and I entered St. John's University as a freshman, full of fear that there was just no way in hell I would maintain a B average or a B plus. I never saw a B in high school. Never. I just got through high school with skin on my teeth. But lo and behold, he who laughs last best. I approached my brother-in-law, who was a graduate of NYU and also a CPA. And I said, "John, this is what St. John's offered you." I said, "I'm petrified. I never saw a B in my life." And he said, "I'll help you to learn to study." What a turning point. For a kid that was dumb, I was convinced I was stupid. The whole world felt I was stupid, no more than a jock playing sports in high school. I started to study. I followed the direction of my brother-in-law. For example, he said, "When you come to school every day, I want you to study 4 hours." And he told me how to study. It's more than just turning pages. It's analyzing what you're reading. And ask yourself questions such as, what's the alternative? When I got my grades for the first semester in college, I had mostly all A's. I never saw an A in my life. And as my college career progressed, I just missed graduating with honors. The only reason I didn't graduate with honors because I had an argument in my freshman year with a Franciscan priest over blind faith. I was raised a Catholic, but I just have a serious problem with blind faith. And I argued with the Franciscan priest about this. He threw me out of the class and said, "Don't you ever come back to another religious class at St. John's University." He said, "We're going to give you 12 credits of C's on your grades." Now, at that time, I was not thinking about graduating with honors. And lo and behold, those 12 credits of C's is what kept me below graduating with honors. And it would have been quite an achievement for me, consider the fact that the dean was full of fear interpretation and admitted me into St. John's University. Because he knew my high school grades were terrible. And I did get my diploma, and for that I'm very, very, very grateful. But again, it's another example. You don't know what's around the corner. Don't count a drunk out. Um, More should be revealed. Based on my personality, I just don't give up. And I did graduate from college. Then I went on to a successful career as a CPA, which I'll now discuss in depth. In my junior year in college, I wanted to work for an accounting firm on Wall Street named Pete Maul Mitchell. Uh, some kids want to play for the Yankees, the Dodgers, and the Giants. Me, I wanted to work for Pete Maul Mitchell, which is one of the largest accounting firms in the world. So my brother told me to approach them in my junior year and say to them, if I get all A's in my accounting subjects in my senior year, will you give me a job? And the HR director said, yes, we will. Friends, I beat the books. I really beat the books. I was determined to get all A's in my accounting subjects in my senior year. I just missed one. I got B plus because the professor never gives out A's in that particular course. But anyway, I graduated from college. I went back to this accounting firm to remind them of the promise they made to me. I had my transcript showing all the A's except for the B plus. Surprise, surprise. The HR director who made the promise to me was no longer with the firm. It was a new fellow. This new guy wanted no part of me. He didn't like graduates of New York colleges. He was from the Midwest, and he was more interested in who mommy and daddy was than the scholastic achievements of New York college graduates. Now, at this time, when I went to see him, I told him about the promise made to me by the previous HR director. And he said, well, that's nice. You met the qualifications. But let's talk about that prosthesis you're wearing. At that point in time, the VA had made for me an artificial glove, which I wore for mostly cosmetic purposes. There's very little utility in that glove except for appearance. So this new HR director said, you know, Ed, we don't want to make our clients feel uneasy if they look at your prosthetic glove. And I said, well, what difference does that make? I said, I'm getting hard in my brain, not on the fact that I'm missing 4 fingers on my left hand. He kept going on about it, that I'm not too sure we're going to hire you because we think our clients would feel uneasy around you with that prosthesis. In fact, what he did, he got a briefcase full of books. And he said to me, pick it up with your left hand. My friends, I'm sweating bullets because I knew it was going to be difficult. But I was determined. So I clasped the handle of the briefcase and I lifted it up. And the HR director was shocked that I could do it. I was shocked myself, but I did it. There was still doubt in his mind about hiring me. Just then, the back door opened up. Who walks in with the senior partner of the firm named Henry Green. He was a World War II veteran, a real nice guy. And he saw there was a commotion going on between me and the HR director. So the HR director explained to him that he, the director, was worried my prosthesis would make the clients feel uneasy. So the senior partner said to me, Mr. Plunkett, let me see your transcript. And I showed it to him. I told him about the promise made to me. And he said, it looks good to me. What was your worst course in college? I said, religion. He said, why? And I told him, I have a problem with blind faith. With that, he said to me, Mr. Plunkett, you're hired. We want no religious fanatics working in this firm. So I was hired by the senior partner. The HR director was destroyed. He walked out of the room disgusted. But more should be revealed. Again, you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I'm hired by this firm, and I start to excel. Every year I'm getting promoted with raises. One of the firm's biggest clients was assigned to work on that particular engagement. I don't mention the clients' names. It's one of the biggest banks in the world. And I was working one night doing some research on some matters, and I happened to notice that when the elevator doors opened up late at night, cartons of stale items or canceled items or papers were pushed off the elevators into this particular department for research. And I looked at these cartons, and then I realized in the back room there were more cartons, just like this. So I went to somebody and said, what's in these cartons? He said, these are reject items that need research. If you don't get the research done quickly, the bank will lose money. It'll be too stale to go back to the customer. So I said, well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever turned over any of these baskets to find out what's on the bottom? He said, no, we never did. I said, well, now we're going to do it. So we turned over one basket, and on the bottom was a whole bunch of stale items, which the bank could not go back to the customers, claiming error had been made, therefore you owe us money. We turned over more and more of these cartons. We found more and more old stale items. Some were a couple of years old. And then the supervisor of this department, a nice guy, he said, Ed, we are so embarrassed. We just never turned them over. And this client estimated they had lost at least $6 million over the last couple of years by not turning these baskets over quickly and researching these items so they would not go stale. And with that, I became a hero. In fact, this bank offered me a job, which I did not take. But here comes the last best. My firm found out what I had done at this client, and a lot of the senior partners were thrilled. Of course, they found out that the client estimated they were losing $6 million every couple of years by not doing the proper research. And my firm was so thrilled with that, they said to me, go see the HR director. He may have a surprise for you. I went to the HR director, who was the same HR director who did not want to hire me because of my prosthesis. And I guess he had forgotten me entirely. He read to me a citation. It said, Mr. Plunkett, we are so proud of you. You're the kind of people we like working for our firm. What you did for our client is outstanding. And because of this, we're giving you a $6,000 bonus. I looked at him and said, do you know who I am? He says, no, who are you? I said, I'm the guy. I showed him my hand, prosthesis. You're the one who didn't want to hire me because of my prosthesis. And now you're giving me praise? With that, he was mortified. Mortified. You last, I got the last laugh. But something else happened. A lot of complaints were coming in against this HR director for being biased against New York graduates. And he was let go from this national accounting firm. So this is a case where I came out on top. The cream raised to the top. Thank you very much.